Hello and welcome to Quick Healthy Italian. My name is Anna Sbrizzi and I would like to show you one of my favorite Italian dishes. Every time I cook something, I cook it from scratch. It's quick, it's healthy, it's easy, it's definitely Italian, and all the recipes I learned from my nonna Giovanna in Italy. She lived in Venice, and I had the privilege of being able to sit there and watch her cook from scratch every single day, and she created marvelous dishes. So this is one of hers, and it's a fish piccata. And today I'm actually using a codfish. An Italian cod is called merluzzo, so this is a merluzzo piccata. And it's a very simple dish. I bought this fish frozen today because it's fresh frozen, and I just look and find something that is a nice white fish. You could use sole. You could use orange roughy. I just looked for something that was wild, because wild is always better than farm raised. It's just a cleaner, healthier fish. And so I defrosted this, and now I'm just going to pat it dry because I want to try to take all this excess moisture off of it. And the reason for that, this is kind of an important step, because we're going to put flour. We're going to dust it in flour, and we don't want the flour to get all kind of gooey. We don't want it to resemble like wallpaper glue. If you don't get all the water and the moisture off, it does kind of get gummy and gooey, and you don't want that. So here we pretty much dried it off best as possible, and I sort of cut this piece open a little bit. I butterflied it because it was a little bit thicker than the other pieces. You want to try to get all your pieces of fish pretty much the same thickness and the same. Doesn't matter the length, but pretty much the same thickness is good. And here I have some flour. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to cover these in flour. You put more than you actually need, that's fine. There's always going to be a little left over, but you just want to be really generous with the flour so that you coat all sides. And actually what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to, in the meantime, get my pan here. I'm going to get it a little bit warm. I've got it on medium heat. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to put a nice dab of butter. I think I'm going to cut it, though, into 4 little cubes. That way it sort of melts faster. And I'm going to get that going so that when I'm ready for my fish, we've got the butter all nice and melted. So here I'm just dusting all my fish. This piece right here is kind of a big piece. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to cut it in half so that when I go to turn it, it's not going to be so big and chunky. And I'll just be able to work with it better. So it's kind of nice to have pieces kind of like about this size. And it makes a nice portion for each person. So here I'm dusting all my fish and getting it all ready for the pan. Okay. Now, the flour doesn't have much flavor, and I do want to get some flavor in this before I actually put it in the pan. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some salt right now. A little bit of salt. I like this salt here. This is Mediterranean sea salt. This is really nice because it has a little bit of a chunkiness to it, and it's a nice natural sea salt, and it's really nice and healthy as well. So we're going to do salt on all sides of the fish. Give it a little, this brings out all the nice flavors. There we go. And I'm going to use a little pepper. Put a little pepper. It's nice to season this right now. And now this is not really authentic, but it just gives it a really nice little extra something. So this is actually some granulated garlic powder, and I'm just gonna put that in there as well. So there we have that. I'm just gonna swirl the butter around in the pan. Okay. I think I'm just gonna switch these over so that you can see. Now I think I want to have a little bit of butter. I just want to make sure that I have enough to coat my fish nicely. Now normally, because I like to cook healthy for my family, and I really enjoy this product here. This is Earth Balance, and it's not butter, but it's kind of like, I can't believe it's not butter, but it's actually better. It's an organic buttery spread. I usually use this for breakfast on toast and stuff, but in this recipe you just really want to use real butter. Real butter is the key. You can't make a piccata sauce without real butter. So this time, when you make a sauce like this, you definitely want to use the real deal. Okay. So we're ready to put the fish in here. Okay. And here we go. We're going to start sauteing the fish. I just got this pan nice and warm on the other side, so we're just going to keep it warm on this side. And this size pan is good to kind of keep everything to fit all my pieces of fish. Okay, I kind of put a little extra flour of this seasoned flour in here. The great thing about the flour is that it makes the sauce thicker. So as this all comes together, the flour and all the other ingredients come together, and the flour actually thickens any sauce. If you ever have a sauce and it's a little bit watery, you want to thicken it up, you could just put a little extra flour in there and just whisk it in, and that's always a really good trick. Okay, so we're going to let this cook now, and we'll come back in a couple minutes, and we'll take you to the next step. Okay, well, a few minutes have passed, about 3 minutes have passed, and now what I'm doing is I'm going to flip these over, and you have to see this beautiful caramelization on this fish. I'm going to try to show you how beautiful that is. Look how beautiful. Can you see that? Che bello. Guarda che bello. It's so beautiful. Che bello. Okay, so now on the other side, we're just going to let it cook just a little bit on the other side. Just to brown a little. And then we're going to go into turning this into a wonderful piccata. Now this, even by itself, is delicious. You could serve this just on a plate with some lemon juice or some lime juice, and it's perfect just on its own. But we're going to dress it up, and we're going to make it even more special. Piccata sauce. Now, piccata sauce is a very traditional northern Italian sauce. Most northern Italian sauces differ from southern Italian sauces because they're lighter and they have more influence from the northern European countries, like France, for example. France has a lot of beautiful cream sauces and light sauces. And the farther south you go in Italy, the more robust the sauces become, and the little heavier the sauces are. Not that they're not good. Everything in Italy is good. But you could make this with chicken. Pollo piccata is chicken piccata. You can make it with any fish. So it's a very, very versatile fish recipe. Okay, so next what we're going to do is I have here a lemon, and I grated a little bit of the lemon rind. I got it started ahead of time, but I just want to show you. You can pick one of these things up, one of these little graters. you got to have one of these because it gets the lemon zest from the lemon and it just adds that little extra something that makes it so good. It's just the aroma of lemon it's very concentrated and wonderful in this dish. And then you're going to want to add some capers. These are called capperi. And these are really wonderful. They have a little bit of a kind of acidic flavor to them. They're delicious. The little juice that they're in is delicious too, so I pour a little bit of that in. And that's really wonderful. Oh, you can smell this? It smells so good. It smells like my nonna's house. And that always brings me back to wonderful times. Okay, so also here I have some lemon juice. Fresh lemon juice that I squeeze. I'm going to pour a little lemon juice in there. Get that going. And then the final ingredient. Okay, so the last ingredient here is we're going to add some nice dry white wine. Table wine. I mean, it doesn't have to be, the best wine in the world, but it has to be something that you would drink. Don't buy that box stuff. That stuff's horrible. Put some real wine in here. Something with a cork. Actually, they have some now that have screw-off tops that are pretty decent too. But don't buy any of that box wine. That stuff. I don't know what that is, but whatever you would drink and enjoy is something you want to cook with. So I would steer clear from stuff that's called cooking wine. Just get nice drinkable wine. Okay, so now this is all bubbling up, and I've got it on medium high. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to put a top on it like that. I'm just going to let it all kind of steam in there. And all the flavors and all the juices are going to come together. And this fish is going to be so moist and so delicious. You're going to really love it. And it's something that's so quick to make for the family. And you'll be very proud to serve it to your family and your friends. Okay, welcome back. So what I've done is I cooked this fish. I turned over once since the last time I saw you. And now this is cooked to perfection. All the juices have come together. The sauce is lovely. So now comes the best part, plating the beautiful dish. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to put my platter here. Take my merluzzo piccata, my cod fish piccata. I'm going to put it on this beautiful platter. Que bello. It smells so good. And here we go. All these nice pieces. And they're all so juicy and succulent. And I'm going to pour this beautiful piccata sauce. Can you see that? We're going to pour that over the top. All over the top of this fish. Okay, and then I have some lovely little basil that I like to grow in my garden. Basil's wonderful because, you can even make flower arrangements out of this, and I do. And it's so aromatic. You could just have it in the kitchen and use it when you need it, and when you don't need it, it's just beautiful. I put roses in with it and different things. It's just wonderful. So, okay, here is the gran finale. Pesce piccata. You see that? That is merluzzo piccata, cod piccata. I hope you make this dish. I know you're going to love this dish, and I know you can't mess it up because it's so easy and healthy, and it's so affordable. So, buon appetito!